the founder of Peaceful Mental Health Counseling Services, as well as the founder of Authentic Profitable Practice, where we help therapists like you start from the ground up to build a successful therapy practice. Today, I want to talk to you guys about being kind to yourselves. Now, a lot of us in this mental health profession, we always are, open to thinking about other people, going above and beyond to take care of other people. But in this private practice journey, it's so important to be kind to ourselves. Now, specifically, I want to talk to those people out there, you know who you are, who are working on building their private practice in the now. Even as you're getting ready and going into the new year, maybe thinking about what is it going to look like? What things do I need to put in place? How much work should I put in? What kind of marketing should I do? Who should I be marketing to? Who should I be talking to? What is my practice going to look like? Which type of documents should I be including in my practice? Now, I'll be honest with you, a lot of times it can get really overwhelming, but I want to encourage you guys just to kind of set out a plan. It's perfectly okay for you to set out a to-do list. I always work by a to-do list, even if it's like per day, per week, per month, and even per year. Yes, you could do like an annual to-do list, and even quarterly, I would say so as well, because we always look at like long-term goals and short-term goals, and we know that those short-term goals are basically going to be like a segment of what your long-term goal is going to look like. So in being kind to yourself, I really want you to think about your big goal, but be kind to yourself in that you're going to come up with specific short-term goals that you're going to look at and that you want to work towards. Now, most importantly, think about ways that you can begin to appreciate the feats, the small feats that you have. Think about ways that you can be grateful for the accomplishments and the success that you've already had, even up to this point. I know that it can be really challenging, especially for those of us that have these big goals in mind. We really, really want to accomplish these things, even for a certain time period. But sometimes even putting a specific time period on certain things on our lives, in some ways it can be helpful for us to motivate us to do things and to get things done and not procrastinate. But be very careful about even doing that, because in doing that, sometimes people, number one, can set up unrealistic goals. And then number two, people are just not able to move forward and actually taking those small steps towards the goal because the big goal just looks so overwhelming. So think about ways that you can appreciate the successes. Now, if you've already started your practice, then great. Maybe there's certain things, maybe there's a certain level that you want to go into in terms of like how many clients you're actually seeing per week. Or maybe there's a certain goal that you have financially. You want to meet a certain salary for yourself throughout the year. All of that is fine. But what are you doing right now? What accomplishments have you made? Have you started paying yourself? Now, that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of therapists fall into and then end up having a lot of issues in terms of taxes and things like that. So if you have already developed a plan to pay yourself, that is an accomplishment, because so many therapists struggle with this area. And that means that you've also come up with a lot of different, tools and strategies in order to get to the goal that you need to get to for paying yourself. So that's an accomplishment. Now, even have you started and registered your business? That's a good place. If that's something that you did in this year, think about where you were last year. Did you have a business registered last year? If not, that's something to appreciate and to be grateful for in being kind to yourself. Now, maybe there was a certain level or a certain amount of clients that you wanted to see. Maybe in the beginning you thought, okay, when I start my private practice, I want to see like 10 clients or so. But at that time, maybe you had no idea of how you were actually going to reach that caseload, right? I know. Trust me, because when I first started, I had no idea how I was going to actually start getting my clients. But as I took the first step, then other opportunities became more available, and I was actually open to receiving the opportunities that were being presented before me. So I want you to start thinking about that. Again, small steps, short-term goals to get to your long-term goals, and being kind to yourself, right? So let's talk a little bit more about being kind to yourself. What exactly does that mean, right? Now, it could mean something as simple as, telling positive self-talk, telling yourself, you know what, I've done a great job. I am proud of myself. It could be something like, you know what, this week I've been putting in so much work. I've registered my business. I've set up a bank account already. I've done all of these things. At the end of this week, I'm going to celebrate by going out with my friends, by maybe buying myself something nice, maybe by going to get a massage or something, whatever it is that you come up with. But the most important thing is thinking about the things that you're doing on a daily basis, and do not take this for granted. Guys, a private practice is a business. Do you know how many people on a daily basis come up with ideas in a business and say like, okay, I'm going to go register my business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this type of business. But so many of those same people do not follow through. So if you have had any type of progress within your business up until now, that is something to be proud of. Again, I want to say it again. That is something to be proud of. Starting anywhere you have started, that is something to be proud of. And I want you to begin to be kind to yourself in that. Stop being so hard on yourself, saying that, oh, well, I thought I was going to be here by this point, or I thought I would have had this by this point. That's all fine and dandy in terms of like having your goals, like I said earlier, but don't beat yourself up because you haven't like checked off every box on your to-do list, because sometimes those things are just not going to happen in the specific timing that we have already set up. Now, it is important for you to have a to-do list and to have a goal, because we know that it's important to have our blueprint for our private practice, especially those of you guys who have joined the private practice blueprint course. So you guys know the importance of creating that plan, creating that time frame, and just working through all the details of your business. But at the same time, you want to be careful to not just get so engulfed in everything that's going around you that you're not really being present and not being able to enjoy the moment. In therapy in general, we are constantly teaching our clients to take it slow, to meditate, to be grounded, to be appreciative of what's going right and not everything that's going wrong. So I want you today to start looking at it. Do a list for yourself and think about at least 5 things that you have already started working on in your private practice. What are those things? What are those things that you have already accomplished? And now specifically, if you had not started your therapy practice a year ago, and now you've actually started working towards it, write those things. Go down to every little fine detail that you can think about in terms of what it is that you have actually done since that time. And celebrate yourself. Encourage yourself, because we all know that as we continue to motivate ourselves, speak positive things over ourselves, be realistic in our actions and in our motivations, then that's going to encourage us to do more of the same. It's going to encourage us to continue moving forward and doing what we need to do in our private practice. So that's all I'm going to say for today. I just want to really encourage you guys just to take some time out to appreciate yourselves, to be kind to yourself, and to know that none of your labor is in vain. But don't get so overwhelmed and so consumed with everything that has to be done and then forget what you've already accomplished, okay? That's my word for you for today. Be well, and remember to live and to work authentically. Be well.